I was fooled by these 5 myths as a gym newbie, and I won't be fooled twice. Most of the things you hear in the beginning of your journey turn out to be rubbish, making it difficult to separate what worked, what didn't work when you break into this intermediate to advanced limbo. Just by dispelling these things, you won't have trouble making consistent gains without slamming your head into the wall or spinning your wheels endlessly for no gains. Even if you go to Reddit or any social media, the first thing most people are going to tell you to bump up your volume. That is the true driver of hypertrophy, the gains. But just think about it. If you haven't been making any gains doing the things that you are doing right now, just by increasing that, it is still not going to give you anything. So that's not the point here. Actually, that's not the mistake. The very essence of your training is missing. Even the slightest amount of volume, as in one set, should give you great results, but you get none. And nothing will happen if you double or triple that. And this is volume. Even if you only do one set, that should produce some results. But how do you get that? You have to change your mentality. You have to go 360 degree. Most people think of their sets as in, oh, there is my training plan, I have 4 sets, if I'm going to do that 4 sets or complete them, I'm going to gain. And why wouldn't it work? It worked when I was a beginner. Yeah, sure. It worked because you were a beginner. As a newbie, everything you do in the gym is going to be new, novel. Of course you are growing from that. Even if you are doing the dumb best things, you are going to grow from that. But that didn't work. Just like when the first time you held your girlfriend's hand and you had a massive, uncontrollable boner in the middle of the bus station. It was just new. Try 3 weeks of only doing 1 sets. That is going to stress you out a lot, and this is not my recommendation to always keep your sets at 1 set, but at least it is going to change the way you are thinking about your training. You will question yourself. You will think, how will I make gains? I only have 1 set. Exactly. You will look at your previous log and you have to beat that. So for example, if you were doing a bench press with 60 kg for 7 reps, then the next time you go down and you only have 1 working set, you are either going to do 8 reps with 60 kg or go up to 62.5 kg and do at least 5 reps. And that's progression. Or if you have a really good day, there's a chance that you are going to increase the weight and the reps as well. And once you make this mindset change, you can bump up your volume, but it shouldn't be an infinite thing. 2 to 3 sets is more than enough. And I'm afraid if you do this one trick, it's going to solve most of your problems. So you can pretty much stop watching this video. But if you are curious about the other 4 things, keep watching. And this is why people say less is more. To some extent. I mean, context matters. No pain, no gain. Sounds familiar? I've been obsessed with the burn. Because people told me if you are doing higher repetition, then it is going to shape your muscles. But higher repetition usually comes with the burning sensation. I was hyper focused on feeling all the muscles. If I was doing a lat pull down, if I didn't feel my lats, I was stressed out. If I did a hip thrust and didn't feel my glutes, I didn't understand why. I was supposed to feel them. They should be working. But then I realized the feeling shouldn't be there. It doesn't have to be there. The only thing that matters is your form and execution. If those are on point, there is nothing else that can do the exercise. And of course you have to do it with high effort. And if you check those boxes, you don't have to care about your feelings anymore. Moving parts. This only means your rep ranges, sets, and your exercise selections within your training program. The more moving parts you have, the harder it is to track your progress. How will you grow your shoulders if you are always changing the shoulder press exercise you are doing for something different, something gimmicky? And you are also changing up your rep ranges. Oh, today I feel like I'm doing 5 to 10, tomorrow I'm going to feel like I'm doing 10 to 20, and the day after I'm going to feel like 20 plus. How are you going to get progressively stronger within a hypertrophy rep range if you have to progressively decrease the weight you are using? You won't, and I fell for this so hard because I wanted something interesting. And it was interesting and trash. Have a training plan with whatever training split you can follow. Have your exercises that are working for you to get to your ideal physique. Keep your rep ranges stable. I'm going to recommend 5 to 9 rep ranges because it's easier to get to failure, it is easier to track your progression, more motor units and all the boring biology behind it. But You don't have to follow it, only if you want to. And nothing is going to stop you like burn and your cardio being bad. Biasing everything. Oh, if you rotate your wrist in 127 degree, you can bias the short head of your biceps. If you put your feet together and turn them out, you can bias the distal part of the vastus lateralis. But what are you trying to bias when your arms are not the size that they could be and you skip legs and you are clearly missing an overall size for them? And I believed all of these tricks, gimmicky executions, hoping that something is going to happen when all I needed was to go on a hack squat, put my feet in a hip width apart and squat down and progressively increase the weight till I get to 5 plates on each side. And my quads, they will be big. And I'm still not at 5 plates, but that is working. So who is going to have bigger legs? If you are talking about a hypertrophy rep range, a person who is squatting 1 plate but does this gimmicky feet out them together biasing thing, or the person who is doing 200 kilogram squats. It's pretty clear, right? The person who is stronger within that rep range. When you are trying to get an overall bigger physique, your main focus should be progressive overload, unrealistic standards. Comparing yourself is a thief of joy. But when you are trying to compare yourself to someone in a world where Photoshop, copious amount of drugs, best lights, the pump, elite genetics exist, is probably not a good idea. And this was the only thing that the first guy I met in the gym killed in me. When I went to the gym on my first day, there was this really handsome, aesthetic guy, and even with male eyes. And I was just looking at him and thinking, wow, he looks great. So I went to him and asked, how can I be like you? And he said, don't. I'm taking drugs. I'm not healthy. I've been training for years. I have great genetics. There is a chance that you don't have great genetics. But the only thing that matters is right now, at your current starting point, add the most amount of muscle, which is what, 10 to 20 kilogram, and get lean, and you are going to look good. You're not going to be as big as me, but you are going to look good. And I believed him. And on that day forward, I never compared myself. I just focused on my journey and nobody else's. He also said that the starting point matters. He was 74 kilogram lean when he started the gym, and now he's 97 kilogram. And of course, he's not natural, but there's still a fucking amazing fit. And he said that if my starting point is 43 kilogram, whatever I do, I will never be as big as him. And that is why comparing is dumb, because you are just not going to look like someone else on the internet. But don't forget, the chances of you having greater genetic potential than you think you do is for you to discover. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Talk to you in the next one.